Welcome to another video tutorial from 2dgameartguru.com. Today I'm working in Inkscape 1.3 Alpha to show you some basics of the Shape Builder tool. In order to do that, I prepared a few shapes. There is a tree, a cloud, a star, a cactus, a coffee cup, and a lotus flower. Let's start with the tree. Like the Boolean operation, for example the union or difference, the Shape Builder requires paths to work. So in this case I have 4 triangles and a rectangle. I select all of them. In this case I create a group and duplicate the group, lock the original because I want to reuse that. Once you create new shapes with the Shape Builder, the original paths are lost. That's why I create the duplicate, select all the elements in there, and then use the Shape Builder. Once I click on the Shape Builder, the display changes. I see my object in gray and in an outline view, and the toolbar changes to an icon that resembles the union and difference, along with a finish, OK and cancel. By default, the Shape Builder is set to combine. When I click on an object now, it goes a light blue. I hold the mouse and drag it to the next shape. It combines them in a slightly darker blue. I click on the next object and combine those. Do the same thing with all my 4 tree elements and click on the trunk. Now I have 5 separate shapes created with the Shape Builder. By clicking on the OK button, I finish my shape building and the display changes back to the original mode. Now you can see the tops are trimmed off the trees and the trunk. Let's hide this group, create a duplicate of the original shapes, and go in with the Shape Builder once more. This time I want to combine the 4 triangles that make up the top. I select all the shapes. As I move the cursor across, you can see it combines them to one shape, and then I click on the trunk, say OK, and now I have 1 path for the top and 1 path for the trunk. Let's duplicate the original shapes one more time. Select all the shapes and go in with the Shape Builder. I select just some of the shapes and the trunk. Once I click on confirm, I get a tree cut out inside. If I would hide the original, there we go. Now I have 4 parts with an inner tree cut out. Combine these via the path union and have 1 path. The final one for the tree would be the simplest one. I just select everything. I go in with the Shape Builder and click on one shape and connect them all, and I have 1 path once I confirm. Let's move on to the cloud. Here I have a rounded rectangle and a bunch of circles. Circles are a little more tricky in Boolean operation as well as in the Shape Builder. When connecting circles, you might end up with more nodes than you'd like. It's a matter of simplifying or deleting nodes after. You don't have to select everything, you just select the elements you want to combine. So in this case I just select the big circles and the rectangle. The elements I leave out won't be part of the Shape Builder. Once I go into the Shape Builder, I now see just the 3 circles and the rectangle. I combine them all, confirm, and have 1 cloud shape. And the elements that I did not select prior are still on the screen because I can delete them or hide them to have my 1 shape. Let's duplicate the cloud shapes again and use the Shape Builder one more time. This time I want to change from the combine to the subtract mode. I click on the icon with the minus. If I click on a shape now, it's taken off the screen and the hole is punched through my rectangle. I don't want that. I do an undo and then select all my shapes, press OK, and now I just have 1 path. Let's move on to the star. I have the star shape and a couple of rectangles. No fill, but an outline. I duplicate my shapes and select everything and go into the shape builder. I select each shape by just single clicking on it. That way I can easily divide the star into triangles. Once I confirm, I'm left with 10 triangles that I can now edit individually, take the stroke off, give them a fill, give them a gradient, create some sort of shading with the triangles. As you can see, I'm struggling a little bit with the gradients, so rather than work on all of them at the same time, I pick one, set the gradient that I want, adjust it, copy it, and then select all the others and paste the style only. Let's do the style one more time. Duplicate the group, select everything and go into the shape builder. This time I want to select different segments. Instead of selecting each triangle, I want to combine two. So I select two, click on one, drag while holding the mouse so two get selected. I confirm that, and now I have just 5 shapes on the screen. I can now edit those like any other vector shapes, color them, give them a gradient, give them a fill, give them a stroke, duplicate them. In this case I will duplicate each shape and use just a triangle as a shading object set to multiply to darken 1/2. The next object is the cactus. It's set up slightly differently. Rather than having shapes, this one consists of 3 lines with a wide stroke. I can color the stroke color to show you that it is a stroke. The problem is that Boolean operation don't work with lines. Everything needs to be a path. So in order to work with these, they need to be converted to paths first before we can use them in the shape builder. I select the lines and go to paths, stroke to paths, and turn the lines into paths. If I select the node tool now, you can see that it's no longer the center line. That way they can be combined in the shape builder. So if I select everything now and go into the shape builder, it should work just fine. In this case I select the cactus shape and the base as 2 objects. Once I confirm that, I have 2 shapes that I can work with. Let's do the cactus one more time. I duplicate the base shapes, convert the lines to strokes, and select everything before going into the shape builder. This time I want to take out the circles in the base first, so I go into the delete mode, click on the circles, and then switch back to the combine and combine all the other shapes into one. The next design is the coffee cup. It consists of ellipses and circles. The main shape is made up of 2 combined ellipses that were modified with the node tool. The reason I made this example is that it's a good combination of the 2 modes. I can erase parts and then go in and combine other parts to create a more complex design made up of rather simple base shapes. The next design is a little bit more complex. I have a grid made up of rectangles and triangles, and on top of that I have a teardrop shape that I used as a clone base, which allows me to easily edit the design. When I try and take this into the shape builder, even though I have selected everything, it just shows the one base teardrop shape. Just like the lines before, I need to convert my clones. Parse object to pass does the trick. Now I have all teardrop shapes as paths. I can now take everything and go into the shape builder and it will show up all right. I go in and select the shapes. I want 2 parts for the outer circles. I click on each of the rounded triangles on the outer rim, and then the inner shapes I want combined, so I make those one shape. With the stroke taken off and the fill set, you can see the design. I can now go ahead and make the changes. When I go in with the node tool, you can see the complexity. There is a lot of nodes in the center. That's the problem with the circles I mentioned earlier. Right now I want to take the original grid, duplicate it, and create a second set of shapes. This time I want to take the shapes I left out the first time, select all those as single shapes. Seeing they have no fill, I need to give them a fill and they become visible. I can now edit them, combine them, color them, and edit the shape builder results like any other vector shapes. There are a few things to look out for when you work with a shape builder. Circles are a tricky part. They end up having a lot of nodes in certain cases when they are too close together, when you have a multitude of circles, when you have tiny little fragments of shapes that are created in the combination. Give the shapes enough room. Don't be too tight. Don't overlap too many shapes in the same spot. This will trigger longer times for the shape builder to initialize, as well as eventually cause problems with the shape building process itself. Remember to keep the original shapes. They will be lost in the shape building process. I've created a set of 15 grids like the lotus shape for you to play with. They are up on my Gumroad page for free. Download them, play with them, practice the shape builder. It's a great tool and it can make life a lot easier when working in Inkscape. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, leave a like, click on the notification icon, leave a comment, and I will see you again soon.